Yeah, forget the hype for just a moment. We're all seeing these incredible AI breakthroughs, right? Amazing tech, really impressive demos.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
But here's the maybe uncomfortable truth. A lot of these AI projects, they don't actually solve a single customer problem.
Mm-hmm.
We get this flood of technically brilliant outputs, code, content, analysis. But the AI itself, it doesn't tell us what matters. It doesn't clarify the real problem or define what success looks like for a customer.
No, it can't. That's still our job. That's the human element.
Exactly. That's on us.
And that's really our mission for this deep dive. We're navigating this turbulent ocean of AI and the Life Fest. It's a really clear focus on outcomes.
A life fest. I like that.
Yeah, so we're going to dig into some critical insights, figure out how to actually thrive by focusing on impact, on effective leadership, adaptable roadmaps, proactive strategies, really getting beyond just being impressed by the volume of stuff AI can generate.
Absolutely. So today, you're getting a shortcut to understanding why the teams that really win in this AI age, they won't be the ones just churning out the most AI stuff.
No, definitely not.
It's going to be the teams with the clearest sense of purpose. So we'll unpack these crucial shifts, in thinking and measurement, leadership too, all the things that really make the difference. Okay, let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So first stop, what we're calling the AI trap, this whole outputs versus outcomes thing.
Right.
Think about a data science team I heard about. Brilliant people. Spent months building this really sophisticated AI model. It sorted thousands of customer support tickets, tagged them with, incredible precision.
Okay. Sounds impressive on paper.
Totally. They built dashboards,
Yeah.
stunning clarity. Everyone was excited about the output, the technical achievement.
Yeah.
Until someone finally asked, so, what customer problem do we actually solve here?
Ah, the big question.
Yeah. Silence. The truth was, no customer's life was actually made any better. AI makes generating outputs super easy, right? But it can't tell us what matters. It can't define success for the customer. That part, still on us.
And that's where the real danger is. I mean, take a financial company. They launched an AI chatbot. Their goal, pretty simple, reduce support ticket volume.
Okay, makes sense as a goal.
And they succeeded, dramatically reduced volume, but then customer satisfaction just plummeted.
Oh no, why?
Well, the bot was great for simple questions. Anything complex, it just pushed customers into these frustrating loops. So they hit their output goal, handle 80% of inquiries with AI, but they completely failed the customer outcome.
Right, the customer wasn't actually helped.
Exactly. So they had to refocus. They shifted the outcome to customers resolve their financial questions quickly and confidently. And that changed everything. Instead of replacing humans, they used AI to augment them, giving agents real-time context. Same tech, totally different purpose. And suddenly, a successful result for customers.
That's such a powerful distinction. Okay, so how do we actually make this shift, practically? Our sources point to this 5-part framework for getting clarity on outcomes with AI.
Okay.
First, you got to define customer success, completely independent of the technology. Ask, what should your customer be able to do that they can't do now?
Yeah.
Small business owners make confident financial decisions. That's the goal.
Right. Not build an AI dashboard.
Exactly. Second, map AI capabilities to real customer friction.
Yeah.
Where are people actually struggling? Could AI help there? Maybe recommendations, personalization, pattern recognition.
Makes sense. Find the pain point first.
Third, test the impact on the customer experience, not just how well the model performs technically. Tech metrics matter, sure, but did the customer actually benefit? That's the real test.
Yeah. Necessary, but not sufficient.
Fourth, build feedback loops. You need to connect the AI outputs back to real-world outcomes.
Yeah.
Design your systems to show you. Did AI actually avoid calls, or did it just create worse escalations down the line?
You need to see the consequence.
And fifth, critically, maintain human oversight of outcome alignment. AI optimizes whatever goal you give it. If that goal is wrong or, unethical, only humans can validate that. Humans check for ethics, meaning value. It's like a human circuit breaker.
That human circuit breaker concept is absolutely vital. I mean, think about a healthcare company. They wanted to improve care coordination, but instead of jumping to AI, they started with a clear outcome. Patients experience seamless care across providers.
Okay, patient-focused.
Right. And that forced them to find the real friction points, duplicate data entry, delays in sharing tests, miscommunication. Then they introduced AI, but in small, targeted ways, like intelligent scheduling or smart forms.
So specific problems, specific AI solutions.
Exactly. And crucially, they measured patient satisfaction and actual health outcomes, not just system performance metrics. If an AI tool didn't help those outcomes, they dropped it. If it worked, they expanded it. The result wasn't just a faster system, it actually improved patient health.
Wow, that's powerful. Now, you might be listening and thinking, okay, this outcome stuff sounds great for big AI projects.
Yeah, what about my regular team's work?
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's where this deep dive gets, I think, even more powerful. This isn't just about AI. It's about fundamentally rethinking productivity, like across your entire organization.
It's a bigger picture.
So if outcomes are what really matter, why do so many organizations still track and reward just activity and outputs?
It's the old way, right?
Yeah.
Easier to count.
It is. It's like celebrating a team because they hit 100% of their story points, their velocity super high. But then you realize, wait, none of this is actually deployable.
Been there, seen that movie.
Or, management's happy with the Q2 numbers, everything looks green, until customer churn suddenly spikes through the roof in Q3.
Ouch. Yeah.
In both cases, they were measuring the wrong thing. They were using these watermelon metrics, green on the outside, but bright red underneath.
Watermelon metrics, I like that term. And this problem, it has really deep historical roots. You go back to Frederick Taylor, scientific management, brilliant for factory floors, right? Repetitive tasks, measuring time, motion, utilization. It made perfect sense there.
For that context, yes.
But knowledge work, software development, product strategy, designing AI models, it's totally different. It's unique. It's driven by feedback, creativity, constant shifts.
It's not an assembly line.
Exactly. So when you try to slap those old industrial era metrics onto knowledge work, it doesn't drive excellence. It actually distorts it. Teams end up prioritizing signaling productivity.
Signaling productivity, what do you mean?
Like gaming velocity by inflating estimates or splitting tasks into tiny pieces just to show movement, or avoiding complex problems because they might slow down the numbers. They're not being dishonest. They're just responding logically to the incentives they're given.
Right. They're optimizing for the metric, not the outcome.
Yeah.
And these watermelon metrics are everywhere, aren't they? Like time tracking and utilization. It encourages busyness, sure, but it discourages deep thinking, reflection.
Kills innovation time.
Lines of code. Rewards complexity, punishes clarity. Feature counts lead straight to product bloat. Teams build what's easy to ship, not necessarily what customers need.
The path of least resistance.
Even static roadmaps with fixed dates, they just block real adaptation. They force teams to stick to the original plan, even when everyone knows things have changed.
And why do they stick around? Because they're easy to report up the chain. They create this illusion of control.
Right. But that illusion doesn't help us deliver actual value.
So what should we be measuring then? Good metrics, outcome-focused metrics, they track what really matters to customers, not just what's easy for us to count internally.
Okay.
They help us answer questions like, are we solving the right problems? Are we learning quickly? Are we adapting effectively when conditions change? It means moving away from just static outputs towards more dynamic, customer-centered indicators.
So it's about leading versus lagging indicators.
Exactly. You need to understand the difference. Lagging indicators tell us what already happened. Things like churn rates, revenue, NPS scores. They're useful, but they're reactive. Often it's too late to steer by the time you get them.
Looking in the rearview mirror.
Precisely. Leading indicators, though, they help us steer the ship now. Think about things like time to first feedback from users, user activation rates, or maybe the number of validated learnings per quarter. These actively encourage experimentation over just hitting dates.
Right. So concrete examples of outcome metrics could be like the percentage of your backlog that's directly tied to validated user problems. That keeps delivery aligned.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or time from idea to feedback. That measures real business agility, not just how fast you can churn out code. Problem resolution rate, are we actually fixing what matters to users? And time to value, how long does it take for customers to actually get a benefit from what we built?
Those are the kinds of questions that drive real progress. Now, shifting from output metrics to outcome metrics, that can feel chaotic if you don't manage it well.
Yeah. How do you do it without breaking everything?
Well, the sources suggest a kind of 6-step roadmap. First, you got to find the friction. Look for those misalignments, like high internal scores but low customer satisfaction. That's a red flag.
Okay, spot the watermelon.
Right. Second, co-create new metrics with your teams. Don't just impose them. Ask the teams, What does success actually look like for your customers? Get their buy-in.
Makes sense. Ownership.
Third, use storytelling. Show people concrete examples of how chasing the wrong metric actually caused harm in the past. Make it real.
Got it. Fourth.
Start small. Pilot new outcome metrics with just one team. Show an early win, build momentum, don't try to boil the ocean.
Learn and iterate.
Exactly.
Right.
Which leads to 5. Normalize evolution. Your metrics aren't set in stone. Treat them like products themselves. Iterate on them based on what you learn.
Okay. And sixth.
Close the loop. Make the feedback visible. Show teams how customer input and outcome data are actually guiding product direction. It makes the work feel much more meaningful when they see the impact.
That whole process sounds much more engaging for everyone involved.
It really is.
Okay, this ties perfectly into the next big challenge.
Hmm.
Roadmaps. You mentioned static roadmaps earlier. Traditional roadmaps, they often feel like these rigid blueprints, right?
Yeah, like architectural drawings.
And they fail so often in complex environments, especially now with AI changing things constantly. I heard this story, a team spent 5 weeks planning this. Like, perfect roadmap. Looked beautiful.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah. 7 weeks later, a competitor launches a game-changing product completely out of the blue. And poof, a beautiful, detailed plan. Totally irrelevant.
Months of planning down the drain.
Exactly. That's what happens when you treat roadmaps like fixed plans instead of maybe navigational tools for uncertain waters.
That's a great way to put it. And what roadmaps are actually for, as our sources really emphasize, is telling the story of how the customer experience will improve over time.
A story, not a list of features.
Exactly. It's a visualization of how life gets better for your users. This shifts the whole focus. Instead of what features do we need to build, it becomes what outcomes do we want customers to experience.
Can you give an example?
Sure. That healthcare tech company, again, they shifted from this huge 42-feature technical checklist.
Wow. What's
or
secret feature?
to milestones tied to actual patient capabilities. Things like patients receive appointment reminders that actually help them prepare. See the difference. That narrative, that story, it energized the team. And crucially, it allowed them to adapt without feeling guilty when new feedback or new opportunities emerged.
Okay, so how do you build these capability-based roadmaps? What are the steps?
First, you start with the customer story. That narrative is your anchor. Everything ties back to it.
Got it. Story first.
Second, identify key capabilities, not features. Think bigger picture. Patients manage their care in one place. That's a capability. Build unified patient dashboard. That's just one possible feature to enable it.
Capability versus feature. Key distinction.
Third, sequence those capabilities based on value and learning. Deliver something valuable early, generate insights, then decide what's next. It's iterative.
Learn as you go.
Fourth, define success from the customer's point of view. Don't just say feature deployed. Say patients miss fewer appointments or users complete onboarding faster. Measure the outcome.
Tied to the story again.
And fifth, crucially, build in adaptation checkpoints. Expect things to shift. Plan for flexibility. Your roadmap isn't a prediction, it's a strategy that needs to adapt.
That feels so much more realistic.
And it's especially critical with AI, right? Because AI development is inherently uncertain. You often can't guarantee results on a fixed timeline. Models evolve, user interactions reveal weird edge cases.
Right, it's not predictable like building a bridge sometimes.
Exactly. But these story-based, capability-based roadmaps, they thrive in that uncertainty. Imagine a milestone like customers get instant answers to policy questions. Okay, maybe you start with a simple rules engine. Then maybe it evolves into smarter search. Later, perhaps you shift to a large language model, an LLM.
The method changes, but the outcome goal stays the same.
Precisely. The outcome remains stable while the method adapts based on learning and feasibility. If one AI approach doesn't work, you pivot. You don't have to scrap the entire roadmap.
Like that onboarding flow example you mentioned.
Yeah, shifting from implement ID verification, which is a feature, to users verify identity using the method they trust most, a capability. That allowed the team to adapt easily when users preferred QR codes over email links. No big drama, just flexing to meet the need. It gives you direction without locking you into a specific solution too early.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so we've talked outcomes, measurement, roadmaps. Let's shift focus now to the human element.
The leadership aspect.
Yes, the future of work is accelerating like crazy. AI is set to change, well, pretty much every industry. And the real key to navigating all this change, it isn't just about having the best tools. It's about a fundamental shift in how we lead.
Absolutely.
And there's this common misunderstanding, right? That Agile somehow wants to get rid of managers.
Yeah, you hear that sometimes. It's not true.
It's absolutely not true. What Agile does call for, quite strongly actually, is for managers to step up and use their leadership muscles. Because traditional management, which is honestly fantastic for structured, predictable project management.
Like building that bridge, the waterfall approach.
Exactly. Waterfall works well there. But that same style becomes a major roadblock when you're dealing with complex, constantly evolving products and services. That's where you need adaptation, where Agile thrives.
And that's where the rubber really meets the road. It makes me think of that classic distinction. Managers do things right and leaders do the right thing.
Powerful line.
They're two totally different ways of thinking, different philosophies about approaching problems and empowering people. Management focuses on efficiency, process, repeatability. It's about enforcing rules, checking boxes, verifying things are done correctly, great for project management with a clear start and finish, where, frankly, change is kind of the enemy.
You want predictability in projects.
Right. Leadership, though, that's not about the known path, it's about vision. It's about having courage in the face of the unknown, being adaptable when things inevitably shift. It's about defining the what and the crucial why, not dictating every single how. And that's absolutely essential for product and service management, where change isn't the enemy, it's just constant.
And this isn't exactly a new idea, is it? I mean, it ties right back into those foundational management theories like McGregor's theory X and Y, maybe Ouchi's theory Z.
Definitely. Theory X, that's the control-based view, right?
Yeah.
Assumes employees dislike work, need constant watching, respond mainly to rewards and punishment. It aligns perfectly with traditional management focused on tight control, standardization.
Yeah, command and control.
And while some control is necessary, applying that rigidly, especially with complex work like AI development, can be really counterintuitive. It can stifle the very creativity you need.
So what's the alternative? Theory Y.
Theory Y is more autonomy-based. It assumes people are generally self-motivated, creative, and want to do good work. So here, leadership skills like building trust, coaching, enabling teams become paramount.
And theory Z.
Theory Z goes even further. It emphasizes long-term focus, deep trust, collaborative decision-making, a really strong shared purpose. It leans very heavily into pure leadership.
Okay, so why do agile environments, and especially AI development, seem to thrive more in these theory Y and Z settings?
Because those are the environments where leaders actively build trust. They empower teams to experiment, to try new things. And crucially, change isn't seen as a problem to be managed or avoided. It's welcomed as a constant, an opportunity.
And AI fits into this how?
Well, think about it. AI and automation are perfectly suited to take over the simple, repeatable, control-based tasks that Theory X manages. This isn't just about AI taking boring jobs. It's about freeing up human capacity.
For what?
For the work that's left, which is increasingly complex, ambiguous, requiring rapid adaptation, creativity, empathy, critical thinking, ethical judgment, all the things humans excel at. AI elevates what humans do, making our work potentially more interesting and impactful, not less.
But a huge piece of enabling that, especially with AI changing things so fast, has to be psychological safety, right?
Oh, absolutely fundamental. Teams need the freedom to try things, to experiment, and yes, sometimes to fail, because the ground is shifting under our feet almost daily with AI. You simply cannot plan everything perfectly upfront anymore.
If they're scared of failing.
They'll just stick to the safe, known path, which, in the age of AI, is very often the outdated path. So the leader's real job becomes alignment to purpose. Worry less about dictating the exact how because the options are exploding, and focus more on ensuring everyone understands the why and is heading in the right direction together.
That's key for integrating humans and AI effectively too, isn't it?
Totally. Leaders need to get good at balancing human creativity with AI capabilities, making sure AI supports human decisions, makes us smarter, amplifies our strengths rather than just blindly replacing tasks. Our human strengths are vital for avoiding pitfalls, ensuring ethical deployment, asking the right questions.
Okay, so let's make this practical. If someone listening wants to move towards this more enabling leadership style, what can they actually do?
Well, first, you need to assess. Look honestly at your organizations, or even just your teams' current balance between controlling and enabling. Where does control maybe constrain more than it helps?
Be honest with yourself.
Exactly. Second, start small. Think Kaizen, continuous improvement. You can't just flip a switch and declare everyone's empowered. It takes practice. Small, incremental changes lower the risk.
Makes sense. What else?
Empower learning through mistakes. This is a big one. Let teams truly own their outcomes. And when they inevitably make messes because they will let them clean them up, resist that powerful urge as a leader to jump in and fix it for them. Focus on their recovery speed, their learning, not on achieving perfection up front.
That requires real restraint from the leader.
It does. Also, work to build leadership capability everywhere, not just at the top. Distributed leadership scales much better and inspires more people. Actively push for upward feedback, create those learning loops, break down silos between management and teams, and finally, consider leadership retrospectives. Leaders need to own their own mistakes, be genuinely open to feedback, and consciously adapt their style.
Wow, that's a journey.
It is. But to wrap this section up, it's so crucial to understand. Agile and AI transformations are fundamentally about elevating leadership, not about getting rid of management, the repeatable parts. Sure, manage those, maybe even automate their management with AI eventually. That can be handled like a project. But the truly valuable stuff, the innovative products and services we create using AI that demands agile thinking, business agility, and real leadership.
And if you try to force command and control onto that,
You just create bottlenecks. You get WIP, work in progress, that just sits there stuck. You kill innovation. You create single points of failure. Success in this new era hinges on adaptability, trust, and that clear sense of purpose. And all of that flows directly from leadership, not just control.
that's such a powerful point.
Yay.
AI isn't just changing the tasks we do, it's fundamentally changing how we need to lead and organize human potential itself.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about that awful sinking feeling. You know the one. You've poured months, maybe years, tons of resources into a new product, a new service.
The big launch is coming.
And then right at the finish line, bam, you find some massive fundamental flaw. It's just devastating.
Yep, hits you right in the gut.
And it happens in so many organizations because crucial expertise, critical insights, they just arrive too late in the process. Creates bottlenecks, last-minute scrambles, drains resources. Just frustrating.
Total chaos sometimes.
But what if that whole cycle of frustration and delay was mostly avoidable?
Okay, I'm listening.
This is where the concept of shift left comes in. It's about pulling crucial expertise earlier in the process, making things proactive, not reactive.
Yeah.
Like having an electrical expert review the building blueprints before you start construction, not after the walls are up.
Right. Shift left, literally moving tasks that traditionally happen late in a process, testing, compliance checks, etc., much earlier on the timeline, visually shifting them to the left.
Okay, makes sense visually.
But it's more profound than just rescheduling tasks. It's really a cultural shift. Traditional models, especially waterfall project management, often operate in silos, right? Design hands off to dev, dev hands off to QA, QA hands off to op.
The classic throw it over the wall approach.
Exactly. Shift left aims to shatter those silos. It's about bringing key players like auditors, QA specialists, support teams, security experts into their early discussions, not just to review things later, but to actively shape the outcome from the beginning.
So they're collaborators, not just gatekeepers at the end.
Precisely. And this fundamentally changes the dynamics of that old iron triangle: faster, cheaper, better. By embedding things like compliance and quality thinking from the start, you actually get faster overall implementation because you avoid those huge end-of-project delays and rework loops.
So faster overall, even if early stages take slightly longer.
Yes. And you dramatically cut costs by avoiding that expensive late-stage rework. Plus, you inherently prevent mistakes, which leads to improved quality and security. It's baked in, not bolted on.
Okay, that sounds good theoretically. What does it look like in practice, like with specific roles?
Great question. Take audit and regulatory compliance. Instead of being this scary final hurdle that can derail everything.
The compliance police showing up at the end.
Right. Instead, they become partners from day one. They're in early planning meetings, looking at designs, identifying potential risks before a line of code is even written. This prevents incredibly costly rework later, and it builds trust with stakeholders, because compliance is considered throughout.
Okay, what about QA, quality assurance?
Shift left completely reframes QA's role. They shift from being primarily bug finders at the end of the cycle to becoming enablers of quality throughout the entire process.
How so?
They contribute during planning, they review designs, they look at user stories, they bring their experience to bear proactively. They might say, hey, based on past products, users often struggle with this kind of button placement, or this workflow is likely to cause confusion. They prevent future user frustration before it's built.
Using their expertise proactively. Nice. What about documentation? Everyone's favorite task.
Yeah, shift left can help there too. instead of being this massive chore tacked on at the end when nobody remembers the decisions.
Trying to reverse engineer the why.
Exactly. Documentation becomes more organically useful. Insights, decisions, justifications are captured as they happen, maybe in the user stories themselves or in shared design docs. It becomes more of a living record that evolves with the product, not a painful afterthought.
Okay, and support teams.
Huge potential here. Bring support teams into early design and planning stages. They're on the front lines. They know the real-world complaints, the common frustrations, the workarounds users invent. They can help design solutions that will actually avoid future support load by saying, look, we get tons of calls about X. Maybe we can design it differently this time.
That makes so much sense. Tap into that knowledge early.
The broader impacts are pretty significant when you do this well. Less rework, obviously. Fewer delays, more predictable workflow. But also greatly improve team morale because everyone's expertise feels valued and utilized earlier. It naturally fosters cross-functional collaboration. And often it sparks more creativity because you have diverse perspectives interacting sooner, leading to better, more robust solutions.
And how does AI fit into this shift left idea? Can it help?
Yeah, it's fascinating. AI tools can actually accelerate the shift left process by automating some of the repetitive, time-consuming tasks in those early stages.
Like what?
For example, you could have an AI tool analyze requirements documents for potential GDPR concerns or accessibility issues before developers start coding. Or AI could generate basic test cases automatically from user stories, freeing up human QA experts to focus on more complex exploratory testing and usability scenarios.
So AI amplifies the human expertise. It doesn't replace the need for it.
Exactly. It handles the grunt work, allowing the humans to apply their deeper judgment and experience more effectively earlier in the process.
Okay, so if someone listening is thinking, right, this sounds compelling, shift left, I want to try this, where do they start? What are the first steps?
It really starts with observation. Look closely at your current processes. Where do those late-stage surprises, those bottlenecks, those rework loops typically happen? Identify the patterns.
Find the pain points in the current flow.
Right. Once you've spotted those, the next step is proactive invitation. Invite the relevant teams, maybe it's audit, maybe QA, security, support into your earlier processes. Get them to planning meetings, design reviews, even retrospectives. Start small if you need to, maybe pilot it with one team or one aspect like security reviews.
Don't try to change everything overnight.
Definitely not. And crucially, figure out how you'll measure success. Look for tangible signs. Fewer major revisions needed late in the cycle, smoother handoffs between teams, maybe even improved team satisfaction scores because there's less frantic scrambling.
Makes sense. Measure the impact.
And one really important clarification. Shift left doesn't mean you eliminate end-stage validation or final testing. Those are still important. What it does is enrich the entire process so that those final checks become more about confirming the quality you've built in all along, rather than desperately finding disasters at the last minute.
It changes the purpose of that final step. Less stressful, hopefully.
Exactly. Less stressful, more confident.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground here. Bringing this all together then,
Yeah.
it feels like in this age of AI, the real difference between just surviving and actually thriving comes down to shifting our focus in some key ways.
A series of related shifts.
Yeah, like shifting from just producing outputs to delivering meaningful outcomes that genuinely matter to customers.
That's foundational.
Shifting from rigid project management, often using waterfall, towards more adaptable product and service management, using agile principles, guided by real leadership, not just top-down control.
The leadership piece is key.
Shifting from static, featureless roadmaps to dynamic customer journeys that actually tell a compelling story of value over time.
Focusing on the user's improvement.
And shifting from reactive late-stage problem-solving to proactive shift-left strategies that embed quality, security, and critical insights right from the very beginning.
Building it in, not bolting it on.
It feels like a whole system of thinking.
It really is. And this era, it absolutely demands that we redefine what success even looks like. We have to challenge those old, comfortable, easy-to-count metrics and empower our teams to learn, experiment, and adapt constantly. It's fundamentally about ensuring that AI serves human purpose, making our work potentially more impactful, more engaging, more valuable.
So the companies that really thrive.
They'll be the ones with the clearest sense of purpose, the clearest why. They'll use AI strategically to serve that purpose, not just get caught up in generating endless volume for its own sake.
That's a great summary. So for everyone listening, maybe a final thought to chew on. What's your leadership balance right now? Is it more controlling or more enabling? How are your teams defining and measuring success? Is it outputs or outcomes?
Yeah, and maybe what's one small change you could make, maybe starting today or this week, to foster a bit more trust, more adaptability, a stronger outcome-first mindset in your own work or with your team.
Food for thought.
Absolutely. And we really hope this deep dive gave you some powerful ideas, maybe some actionable insights you can take away. If you want to go even deeper into any of these specific topics, the nuances of outcomes, leadership styles, metrics, roadmaps, shift left, we've got you covered. Just click the links in the description below.
Yeah, those links will take you directly to the source videos we discussed today. Titles like AI's Purpose, Focus on Outcomes, Not Just Outputs, Leadership versus Management, Which One Unlocks AI Success, Outcomes over Outputs, The Path to Real Value, Roadmaps, Navigating Towards Customer Outcomes, Not Features, Shift Left, Proactive Product Management for Success, and that great one, The Measurement Trap, Why Perfect Metrics Failed Teams.
Lots of great material there to explore further.
Definitely. We really hope this was valuable, gave you some things to think about, maybe some concrete steps you can try. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks, everyone.